All right. Welcome, everybody. How are you guys doing? It is just me tonight on Just Langa. I hope everybody's being able to tune in. Okay, cool. How are you guys doing? Welcome back to just another episode of Just Langa. I am Nina, and today we're going to be talking about local content for a global audience. Now, because I'm alone today, I'm going to be checking if we're actually online right now. Okay, so just hang in there for a sec. Today, we're going to be talking about local content for a global audience, and it is our 59th episode of Just Langar. So welcome one, welcome all, and let us know who's in the house. If you're a regular popcorner, please let us know. Say popcorn, or if you are tuning in for the first time, please let us know where you're tuning in from, and let us know what is it that you want to get from today's episode, local content for a global audience. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to invite my guest in today. Welcome. I can't hear you. Are you already on?
Yeah.
Mike?
Hello.
Okay,
hello.
cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
Irwan.
okay, so hey everybody. So today's my guest. Since I'm alone today, we may have a co-host later, but we'll see if he's available.
I'll be your co-host.
Yes. Okay, cool. So do you know what we're talking about today?
Kinda.
We're talking about you for one, definitely. Okay, cool. Well, I checked on this. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, definitely, we are live. Okay, cool. So welcome. If you are tuning in, let us know where you guys are tuning in from. We'd love to know. Okay, so happening right now, it is Just Langa with me and Irwan Junaidy. Now, while waiting for you guys to reply, if you're new to the show, Just Langa is where we interview the movers and shakers in the world to help you grow your authority, impact, and income as a thought leader, business influencer, and the authority in your respective industries. In other words, we're Popcorn, and we build Southeast Asia's business influencers and thought leader. And if this is something that excites you, please follow us in all our social media. We've got trainings and events. And in fact, coming up next week, let me get the slide out. Coming out next week is actually Firdaus Muntaza. Same time on Thursday, 8:30. And you guys want to tune in for this particular episode because we're going to be talking about what is your product entry? What is the key to making sales constantly? So, Rogue, if you had a tool where you can actually have a course or something that you can sell constantly, what course would it be? Just wondering. Would you want it in the first place?
Of course.
Okay.
I mean, you always want to sell something, right?
Moolah yes, exactly. Moolah is good. Okay. So what would it be
though? I think I would like to be like a better salesman, Jualayalio.
Okay, wait. So are you going to buy the course or are you going to...
I want to learn about how to do this,
Okay, then you're not selling the course.
I'm not selling the course.
No, it's a course. You're buying the course.
Or you're... Okay.
Get it? You're buying a course from somebody else who's a sales expert. Okay. So most probably you're buying from me. Make sense?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, this is a complete failure, Rob. You definitely shouldn't be selling anything. Okay. Anyway.
All right. I should go to the course.
Yeah, you should have. No, the moral of the story is I need to come up with my own course and then Rogue will buy from it. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be
anyway, if you are tuning in online, let me know. We would love to hear from you. And tonight we are going to be talking about local content for a global audience. Now, for me, personally, 10 years ago, I think it was 10 years ago, there wasn't much diversity in Hollywood. Would you agree, Rogue?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
White folks everywhere.
White folks everywhere, right? Okay. Now, if there was anything that won international film competition, you can bet that it never came from Asia, right? And we submit every year. Okay, now today we're seeing more cultural diversity, not just in content, but in Hollywood films as well. YouTube, of course, and Malaysia's animation scene, oh my God, is breaking barriers, is going global. Not just, our speaker today, but also Bobo Boy, very famous in Russia, right? Wow Animation, Agent Ali is just traveling places, right? So how are they doing it? What is it about local content that's appealing to a global audience? And what does this mean in terms of our own thought leadership and business influence? Are we Asian thought leaders at par, or worse, are we just suffering from colonial mentality? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So if you find this useful, please share this, tag your friends, and let's all benefit from this together. And once you're done with that, get your pens, get your notebook ready, because you are about to learn some leveling up stuff that's going to make you international. Sounds good? Let me know in the comment section. Okay, Rogue, are you ready? Because you're supposed to be imparting knowledge, yeah?
Bye, boss. I'm ready.
Okay, got it. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I would love to introduce my speaker for today. He is Irwan Junaidy, or Rogue. Yes, just like Star Wars Rogue, as we fondly call him. Do not be fooled by the rather extreme Islamist looking beard kind of thing. He's just a regular guy. In fact, he's the co-founder of the R&D studio, an award-winning content studio based in Malaysia. He has produced Disney's first long-form scripted television series in Southeast Asia, and he's directed 2 animated short films that's traveled to more than 30 film festivals around the world. Now, Rogue is also, this is what I mean, do not be fooled by the beard, because he is actually a slacker dad, okay? And he plans to write a book about his parental techniques soon, or whenever he decides to, because remember, he's a slacker. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rogue.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, so because Amien is not around, we're taking time with our side effects. Is it side effects? Do I have it right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
Yes.
Special effects. So you guys have to deal with very manual special effects from Nina and Rogue today. Okay. So first things first, Rogue, can you share with us what is it that you actually studied? You know,
Okay.
And are you actually practicing? Okay. Let me know when you want me to come out with the slides. Yeah.
Before I tell you what I studied, I want to tell you that this beard has made me late for flights, has made me, targeted. I have been targeted in airports all around the world. So when I walk with my wife or my daughter, they'll go, okay, lalu. And for me, they say, hey, brother. So, yeah.
Yay, so you got fans here. I don't know why I cannot see colonial or colonial mentality. Don't let his Love it. Okay, he studied life. Okay, so what? So wait a minute. So your beard is the source of travel frustration. This is before COVID-19, right?
Before COVID-19, yeah.
Okay,
so
but
it's also
I have
the source
a
of my
question.
powers. Yeah.
Okay, how is it the source of your powers, and you still don't want to shave your beard? Is it, or you do it before you travel?
No, I don't want to shave my beard. It's I've grown comfortable with my beard. But let's talk about architecture, not talk about my beard.
Okay, good. Well, you started it. Okay, cool. Can you share with us how you started? How did you become, the boss of an animation studio?
Okay, I actually studied architecture in the UK. So architecture is a long course. It takes 6 years to get your part 1 and part 2. So I finished both my part 1 and part 2 in the UK. And I came back to Malaysia and started a games company, actually, with some friends. So at that time, I was in the UK, actually. I was doing my postgrad because the UK government actually offered me scholarship. I don't know why they offered me scholarship to do research leading to a PhD, but I kind of didn't finish that. So I went back, started the games company. And after a few years, I started R&D Studio, which is the current company that we're doing now. So
right, okay. So you came back and you didn't bother going into architecture. You studied it.
No, yeah. I mean, I came back. The only time that I practiced architecture was doing my practicals. So if you want to see my masterpieces, it's University Tenaga Nasional. I designed the rumah sampah there. I designed the shop lots.
Okay, guys,
cafe,
if you are tuning in and you're basically the existence of your life after you graduate was you coming up with the design of a rubbish house, you kind of know that maybe that's not your purpose in life, and you kind of look for other things. It's a sign from the universe. Let's just put it that way. Would you agree, guys, if you're tuning in? So is that why you left then?
No lah. I mean, it's like
Okay.
when you're a practical student, all practical students, they design rumah sampahs everywhere.
Right.
So,
Okay. Got
but
it.
I love architecture, but I didn't like the practice of architecture. I didn't like going
Which
to the
was what
site,
didn't you like about it?
dealing with
Um,
contractors, dealing with things happening on site and all these things. I like the design bit, but being an architect is more than just designing. So I
mm,
wanted to do more. I wanted to design more. I wanted to design worlds. I wanted to tell stories. Hence, starting
wow.
the
Okay.
company R&D Studio.
Okay. I think let me just put in the slides. Yeah. Kind of thing. Okay. So that's how you started, right? Am I right?
Mm, yeah,
Did it go missing? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
yeah,
Why is it missing?
yeah.
Okay. Cool. You can see, right? Okay. Cool. So then, would you like to share about this?
Okay. The other thing that you guys should know about me is I'm really lazy. I'm not a good student. I'm always in the last class. And because of that, I could not get a good scholarship. I mean, I could get a scholarship, but I could not get architecture. I could get a town planning scholarship. So I actually uh, was like enrolled in a town planning course. But of course, I didn't want to be a town planner. I wanted to be an architect. I wanted to design stuff. So during the first week of my studies, my first year, I went to the architecture department. I brought some sketches. I brought some designs. I designed a masjid, a mosque with a dome made of lasers. And I told the lecturer there, I said, I want to be an architect. I'm an architect. I want to be an architect. I want to be a town planner. Please write a letter to my sponsor, JPA. And he did. He wrote a letter to JPA, and JPA actually changed my major from town planning to architecture. So that is the first lesson which I want to share with everyone
Mm-hmm.
is if the road is not presented to you, you build your own.
I love that because we always say if you're not getting any limelight, you build your own limelight. So that's how we started our own conference and our own show. Basically, we create our own limelight. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely agree with you. So that's how you started R&D, I guess.
Yeah. After the games company, it wasn't something that it was something my partner then wanted to do, but I wanted to do more than games. I wanted to do
Mm-hmm.
films and animation. So I started R&D studio with another partner, another friend from high school,
Mm-hmm.
and we did R&D studio, which is a company that makes film, animation, all sorts of content. So that's us. There's 15 of us at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You can see which one I am lah. So there's
Obviously, is the one at the bottom with the beard.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So what another interesting thing about the company is we're all from outside the industry. We're all lost souls. I
Right.
studied
Okay.
architecture. My partner studied law. We have somebody who studied medicine. We have a mechatronic engineer who studied in Japan, but now
I
she's
should
doing
be in your
animation.
company then.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, got it. So basically, you could study anything and be whatever you want. And what is this? Basically,
So
today.
yeah, so after we're 10 years next year. Our company will be 10
Mhm.
years old. So these are some of our international clients. So we've done work for the Walt Disney Company, Warner Media, YouTube, Tokyo Broadcasting System, and the host of all the Malaysian broadcasters, basically.
Wow. So basically, you've done work with everybody, and these are some of your work, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're both local and international stuff, right?
Yeah. So when we first started out, we didn't have any portfolio. So, you're starting from scratch. So we invested in 3 trailers for a musical, a horror movie, and an action show. So Astro actually saw the horror one and they picked it up. That became Tiang Seri, our first Astro first film.
Uh-huh.
And from there, it just we just grew and did much more. So we do a lot of different things from horror, we do education, we've done Malay films. We've done things for Walt Disney Company. We do short films. We do documentaries. We do everything.
Right. Okay. And what could you share a little bit about these two?
Okay, so I'm a producer in the company, so I produce all the content. Created about 16 films for TV and TV series and all the stuff. We also created about 250 short form videos. And these are short films, Batik Girl and The Dalang Sale. So sometimes I write and direct. So these are two of the things that I wrote and direct. Batik Girl
And
and Dalang
these are
Sale.
international short films, right?
It's local stories, but it's been around internationally. Yeah.
Okay, I love that. Okay, because we're gonna get straight into that. Could you kindly share your journey to telling local story that's made for the global market? Yes.
Oh yeah, we started the company 2011, but we started operations 2012. So for the next 2 years, 2012 to 2014, we did this project called Sansastra, and this is what I call our phase one in the company, which is a short sneery phase.
Could you say
Short
that in
sneery
English?
is self-indulgence. We do
In a
not,
not good way.
yeah, we do not cater for a client. We did not cater for an audience. We just did what we wanted to do. So it's short sneery. And in 2014 onwards until 2017, we sort of like, oh, let's not do short scenery stuff. Let's try to do Western stuff. So that's why I call the phase two of our company, where we try to out West the West.
Could you
We
share a
even
little
did
bit what you mean by out West the West?
we even did okay. So E59, we even did a animation show. We proposed to do an animation show. Is a blonde girl there? Why the hell are we doing a blonde girl as a lead character? You know.
Uh-huh.
So it was hard to get money to get broadcasters to buy in this, because they would compare all the shows to shows that's done by Disney, by Cartoon Network, from Nickelodeon. So there's no way we can out West the West, because they've been at it longer than we have. They're better at it than we are. So, you know, it was kind of like 3 years trying to do stuff that the West does, but they do it better.
Okay, so let me get this straight. We're talking from 2012 to 2017. So basically, you failed for 5 years?
Oh yeah, we failed for 5 years. I mean, it's like,
Okay.
I mean, we had money coming in. We did the local stuff for broadcasters.
Right. Okay.
But going international these are all our international projects that we wanted to penetrate the international market. So we couldn't get money for any of this. We couldn't get
Okay.
any broadcasters in, any buy-in. So it was in 2018, I think.
Is it this one?
Yes, it was 2018. We were invited to pitch this project called Jungle Magic in 3 countries, in South Korea, in Melbourne, and in NSC. So NSC, if you guys don't know, is the Cannes for the animation industry. It's a top festival.
Okay.
So we were the first Malaysian project to be invited, and Jungle Magic is distinctly Malaysian. There's no blonde people there. There's this guy called Omar who tak pakai baju, you know, with a cloud on his head. He's a anak bomo. He's a son of a shaman, a weather shaman. Mm-hmm. So the first cloud that he summoned.
That looks like Amien, actually. That's like a small Amien. That's really cute, right? Don't you guys think so? Okay, sorry. He's laughing because it's real. Yeah. That's like a young rogue with hair.
So then we have
and that's
Aiden.
Me.
Aiden is half Bunian, half fairy folk. So he has one pointy ear. He's budak bandar. He's from the city, but he's been sent to live with his grandfather at the kampung. And then there's Marissa. Marissa is a were-tiger.
Marissa is also watching right now. Marissa.
There's a Marissa. Hey, Marissa. Yeah, Marissa is a were-tiger. And if you read about Puteri Gunung Ledang, the bodyguards are were-tigers. So we took that story and weaved it into our show here called Jungle Magic.
So this would have been your first local thing into, you know, telling it to a global audience, right?
This is the first attempt where we look inwardly. Before this, we look outwardly. We we tried to outwest the West and all the stuff, but we looked inwardly. Stories from our culture, stories that we hear our grandmothers, you know, will tell us from the kampung and all the stuff. Yeah, that's Amien with hair. Yep.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Was this when you realized these were all pitching, right? Was this when you realized that you know, local stories could actually travel? Just
Oh
wondering.
yeah. Because if you look at the next slide, that's me presenting in NSC.
Okay, hang on. Let me just get the next slide. Okay. Yep. That's NSC?
This is NSC,
Uh-huh.
where I was pitching in front of 200 people from from all over the world. So I was pitching Jungle Magic, and I told them the story about the son of a shaman with the cloud on his head, the were-tiger, and I told everybody that this is true. Because if you go out of Kuala Lumpur, you go to the kampongs, you can find all these things.
Oh
And
my
after
God, these are like campsite stories the way you were telling them, right?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
and then
yeah. And then
to
after I
a bunch of
presented,
white people, right? I'm sorry. You could have been bullshitting, right? For all you know, they wouldn't know any better. Okay,
yeah,
and
man.
then
Yeah. And then after I presented, somebody actually came to me. There were a lot of people who came to me. Cartoon Network, Cartoon Network South America came to me. They were like saying, "Oh, we love these stories.
yeah,
South
because it's
Americans
similar
have
to
these kind
them.
of stories too."
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's this guy, this French guy, who actually came to me and he said, "I actually looked online to see how much the flights are to go to Malaysia." So that's like, okay, our stories are really good. Our stories are really powerful. Why haven't we been telling all these stories to everybody around the world?
Right? Kind of thing. So that's when you realize that local content can actually travel. And this is
we completed Jungle Magic. We've got financing to do Jungle Magic. So it's 26 episodes by 11 minutes. We're shopping around for a broadcaster for this one.
Wait, this is
so
self-funded?
No, we were.
You're
we
working
had
with somebody.
a grant. Yeah, we had a grant, 40% grant from MDEC. It's quite expensive. This show is about 6 million. Yeah,
I just want to share that if you see one of this, my voice is there.
yeah. Nina's. Let's see which one. Yeah, Nina's genie there.
The one on the right, this tiny one over here. You can't see it. It's right in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm a fat one as usual. Okay. Anyway, so you basically learn that local stories can travel.
Yeah. From that particular project, from Jungle Magic, it sort of like gave us the impetus to the idea and gave us the drive to say that yes, our local stories are important. It can travel.
Okay, got it. And that's when you realize, even Disney was doing stuff like that, right?
Yeah. We pitched that show in NSC in 2017. Moana came out in 2016 actually, and it made 500 million for Disney. Coco came out the same year as we pitched Jungle Magic. So Moana was South Island Pacific, that culture. Coco is the
Mexican Day of the Dead.
Yeah, it's a Mexican Day of the Dead. Yeah. So now you can see brown people in Moana, in Coco, they're up there in Disney shows.
Right, yeah. Oh, also the market is huge, and that's what Disney is just realizing now, kind of thing, right? So I guess ideas
for
are
Coco,
everywhere.
Actually, Coco was Pixar's 5th highest grossing film at
because
800 million. Yeah.
Yeah, see, here's what a lot of people don't know. And for the longest time, studios did not know, maybe because for lack of better data, the people who were actually going to the cinema would be Mexican family of Mexican heritage, and they would bring their family. So to have an animation that was appealing to them, relatable to them, would have made it really, really powerful for them to come in, right?
Yeah. But I think there's it's not just that. They are telling universal stories. They are telling Coco is about family, Moana is about
family,
trying to ambition, trying to find their place in the world. Those stories resonate with everyone around the world.
It's just the setting is different.
Is different. Yeah, the setting is different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's when you realize. Is that when you realize ideas are everywhere, or local can travel?
Yeah, I mean, what our problem is, we take things for granted. So, for example, Batik Girl, if the next one,
this one,
Batik Girl was actually born in Italy. So Batik Girl
in the Bologna children's book, right?
Yeah, Bologna's Children's Book Fair is the biggest children's book fair in the world.
So how did this Mat Saleh girl become local if she was born in Bologna?
Yeah. Actually, the idea was in Bologna, and how we got the idea was we were sitting. This is the Malaysian pavilion, the Malaysian booth where all the books in Malaysia are there, and people come and see, and buying and selling happens here. But actually, what happens was, if you notice, there's a batik tablecloth on the table, and me and Heidi, my friend who's the co-writer of Batik Girl, we were like looking at this Mat Salleh couple in their 60s, 70s. They were looking at the table for a good 10 minutes. They were talking between themselves and they were pointing at the table. And me and Heidi were like, what are they looking at? Is there something moving on the Batik tablecloth? And that became the idea for the Batik Girl, where there are things happening in the Batik world. Yeah,
Right.
so ideas are everywhere. I mean, we take things for granted. We take things, for example, batik for granted, but actually, when you go overseas, when it's people love all these things.
Right.
So
Actually,
what we need to do is just be more sensitive, be more aware, train yourself to look for ideas everywhere and write it in your phone or your a notebook, so that you don't forget about it.
I think that's true for us with posting content as well. Ideas are everywhere. We just need to be observant, right? Remember, guys? Yeah. Something we can learn and remember as well. Okay, what about this one?
This one, okay, so this is a Batik Girl. It went on to, it's a 9-minute story, and it's about this girl who lost her parents at the start of the film, and at the end she gains a new family, which is her grandmother. So good stories is all about emotions. You feel something. You feel curious, you feel scared, you feel happy, you feel sad. So for Batik Girl, it was the emotional core was this relationship between this girl and her longing to find her grief, dealing with her grief, and finding her grandmother. She was always there, but she never realized it.
Right. Okay. And why is research important?
Yeah, for Batik Girl, we wrote the story. We from Bologna, we had the idea. Then we wrote the story about this girl who lost her family, and we wanted to do batik, of course. But we didn't know enough things about batik. We didn't know enough things about where batik was done. So our story was set in Kuala Terengganu, somewhere in Terengganu, and Heidi actually went to Terengganu, and actually went to this place where there was this batik entrepreneur, this solo batik entrepreneur called Kak Zah. She just she's alone, and she makes all these batik designs for everywhere. And what was interesting was when Heidi was there, she actually saw this place where there was this swing right in the middle of the ocean. So during high tide, it's covered with water, and low tide, it's sand. You can walk towards. You can walk there. So this wasn't in the initial script, but it was too cool to not put in
have it in the script, in the artwork, right?
So we had to put it there. Yeah. So and it became an important setting for the film. Actually, this is where the little girl Mas actually was called to the batik workshop. Yeah.
Okay. And this is the workshop and the layout, everything.
Yeah. So did research, took photos of what happens in the batik workshop, and then me being the ex-architect, I sketched what our workshop should look like, and we had ideas where certain places would have certain things would happen where in certain places, and we wanted to be authentic as possible. We wanted to record the waves in Kuala Terengganu. We wanted to. So we wanted to make even the architecture of the place distinctly to Kuala Terengganu. So I brought up all my old books, architecture books, and we actually designed the rumah kampung, the traditional house where the grandmother stays, based on a Terengganu house. So this is very Terengganu house. If you're from Terengganu, definitely one look at it and you'll know this is a Terengganu house. And we actually had people from Terengganu saying, hey, this house looks familiar, is it? at jalan somewhere, and I'm like, no, we made it up.
Oh wow! So you made it up based on the research, and then people are saying, "Hey, is this house at so and so?" Because it looks
Yeah.
so real. That's amazing.
Yeah. So actually, this model was
Mhm.
done by our modeler McLellan,
Mhm.
and you can actually build a real house from that model.
Wow, this is
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about this one?
So this is the workshop, the batik workshop. We actually took photos of the night sky in Kuala Terengganu because I wanted some astronomer to say, hey, look at that sky. It must be in Kuala Terengganu. But
Mhm.
the night sky over Kuala Terengganu didn't look too nice, so we did this. We exaggerated it. It looks cooler.
Okay, it looks cooler. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments, how you're finding all this. Okay, cool. Okay, so what about this one?
Yeah. So for batik, obviously, we know about batik, but we don't know deep enough about
Mhm.
batik. So we look into more deeply into batik and look at motifs, the sort of things that people draw. We have the Sri Fatimah motif, Sri Mas motif, daun berjalan. Daun berjalan is, in our mind, it's like creeping vines. So from the
Mhm.
name itself, we know if it's creeping, it will move like a snake. If it's,
Mm.
like a normal plant, it will sway in the wind. So by doing all this research, we knew how it would move in the batik world.
Okay, somebody who's a Facebook user is saying, I'm from Terengganu, love the amount of effort and research that went into the project. Yes, you're right. I think with animation, especially,
Yeah.
you need to do a lot of research, right? How much time did you spend?
We spent about 8 months on doing the story and research.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And
4
from
months
the
in production. Yeah.
wow, so from the research, this is what happened? Is it?
Yeah. So from the research, we had ideas. So you can see that, those motifs here this is a concept art. Before
Mm.
we do the animation, we do kind of like explore the look of the film. So the next one is because we have certain worlds in this batik world. This is a
Mhm.
jungle scene. There's also the ocean. So the
Mhm.
ocean, we looked at the chanting. The chanting is that
Wax.
where that is where you draw the lines made of melted wax.
Mhm.
So we always know there was this chanting with one spout, but there's actually a
Mhm.
multi-spout chanting. So
Oh
the lines come
wow.
out like in parallel.
Uh-huh.
So
That's kind of like a Maybelline, those eyebrow tattoo, just saying. Okay.
I would not know that, but yes,
Ideas are
it's like the
everywhere.
Maybelline, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that just lent itself to the water, the
Which
waves
is this lah.
in the water. Yeah, so we wanted to look at so this is the concept art for the ocean part of the batik world. So from all this research, you can
Mhm.
get so many ideas from
Okay.
what you want to do.
And what about this one? This is another short film, right?
This is my second film that I directed. I wrote and directed, so it's called The Dalang's Tale. So after Batik Girl, I wanted to do naively. I wanted to do something which is not so colorful. I
Why
said,
naive? Just wondering.
because after we went into The Dalang's Tale is about domestic violence, and doing research into domestic violence is not nice. All the things, all the cases you stumble upon, all the interviews, the people you talk to, it is not nice. And
So how long did you spend in research?
for this one is 2 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how many cases did you hear to kind of know about this?
We talked to Ivy Josiah, who's an
Mhm.
activist who is a co-founder of WAO, Women's Aid
Mhm.
Organization, and she worked with survivors of domestic abuse for 15 years. So she had a lot of
Mhm.
stories.
Mhm.
So she could guide us what was right, what wasn't right. We were even hesitant to even show abuse scene because we were like, would it trigger things to people? Would it like make people upset? But Ivy
Mhm.
said, you have to tell the story. You have to show it so that people who has not seen it, who has not been in abusive situation, will know what's going through. What
Mm.
these people are going through. So we
Marissa,
did that.
who's actually stated here as LinkedIn user saying, yeah, true, because she's had experience in this as well. So it's very, very true. So this was part of your research, is it?
Yes, we did research. So for the Dalang Steel, there's two elements to it. The story is about domestic violence, but the presentation layer, the visuals is inspired by wayang kulit.
Which is this.
So wayang kulit, there's different types of wayang kulit. So this is the Balinese wayang kulit, which is the most famous one. This is Kelantanese wayang kulit.
Okay, so this is there. Balinese, is it?
Yeah, Balinese, the figures are more elegant, the arms are long, the design is different, and it's black. It's just shadows. There's no colors. In Kelantanese wayang kulit, there's shadows. There's colors.
Yeah, because they paint them.
Yeah, because there are certain panels on the wayang kulit which is translucent and it allows light to shine through.
You actually went to Kelantan to watch a wayang kulit, is it?
We did not go to Kelantan because we could find wayang kulit in KL. So but we actually talked to Dalangs. We actually talked to people who are experts. I even went to the British Library in London to do research on wayang kulit because one thing is about Malaysians, we are not writers and we do not go in depth into something.
Actually, I want to disagree with that. I don't think it's because my aunt is a dancer and she knows Mayong and she studies it. Yeah. But I don't think we appreciate our culture enough. We're always trying to be more Western, trying to be more modern, that we're seeing our own culture and we're kind of ignoring it, that we're losing it, everything.
Yeah.
And
we know a lot of things about all these things, like your aunt.
But it's
she's
not
an expert,
documented.
But she hasn't written it down, it's not written. It has to be somebody from overseas that comes in and do research, and then it's at the British Library, So that is where we're losing things because we take things for granted, like I mentioned before, and we do not go into in depth into things. And there are some things which the Dalang obviously they know this is their craft, but you need a deeper research and understanding to know
definitely
the psychology behind it and all the stuff.
And also with these people, I understand that you gotta stay with them, you gotta sit with them, you gotta eat with them, and then they'll share you and they'll pass you your knowledge, but you gotta stay with them, eat with them. So that's how knowledge was passed in the olden days. I mean, I know this because I live with my aunt, right? Kind of thing. Okay, so and then from here, what was it? There's all these things.
So there's the presentation layer, which is wayang kulit, and then there's the topic itself, which is domestic violence. So there are certain things in domestic violence that we wanted to highlight, and one of the most important thing is abuse is about power and control. It's never about sexual abuse. It's not about all those other things. The core thing about domestic violence is the person that's inflicting the violence is about being in a position of power. So we had this particular shot.
This one, is it?
Before that, you see the holes in the characters. Yeah.
Is it because of the wayang kulit? Just wondering.
Inspired by wayang kulit because wayang kulit has holes, but also because there is an emptiness in that person. And he is trying to fill that emptiness by taking a piece from somebody else.
Correct.
So the piece is circular. The dad is, it's a rectangle.
Okay.
So he tries to fit that. He tries to fit that piece because he's trying to feel better about himself. That's domestic abuse. But it doesn't fit perfectly. But at the same time, you are taking a piece of your wife, of your spouse. And she becomes more emptier and emptier. So that was from wayang kulit, having having holes, and we tried to put it into the wayang kulit scene. So the other thing that's quite important is there's the cycle of violence is
intergenerational. Yeah, because the second
the children sees what happens and they think it's okay, and when they grow up, they do the same thing. So in our story, in the Dalang Steel, that's what happens. The kid sees their dad angry, the kid is angry, and all because, of this cycle of violence. And it's up to us to, break that cycle. One of the small things that, that happens in the film, but it's not a small thing that happens in real life, is the people who they suffer in silence because they want to protect the child. So in this particular shot, the mom is actually covering her mouth because she doesn't want the son who's inside the room, doesn't know what's happening outside, to hear what's happening to her. So she suffers herself. She puts it, inside her. And the last thing that we wanted to talk about was the smallest thing will trigger abuse. In this particular scene, the mother dropped a plate of rice, and that triggered the abuse. So the littlest thing will trigger abuse. And also, we wanted that particular plate of rice because of that Malay pepatah, bila nasi tumpah, whatever. I'm sure you know, you're very wise in Malay pepatahs.
Oh, please. If you know your Malay pepatah, let us know. Are you talking about the nasi sudah tumpah thing? So what was your research into this? Right. So basically, it's important to do deep dive into research, right?
Yeah. So if we did not deep dive into research, we would not know all these details, and our stories wouldn't be that good or rich, or we wouldn't tak sampai lah what we wanted to say.
I think if I'm gonna tie this back to business influencers and thought leaders, is you really got to know your stuff and be the expert. You cannot be. There's a lot of fake people who just do shallow stuff. So I guess what this means is that there is no shortcut. You really got to know your craft and be the expert in it, right? If you don't, you research into it, you study, you do the work, right?
Research your competitors, research your market. So that's what we did,
Wow. What do you mean you research your competitors? Can you share a little bit?
I mean, that is for not us, not the creative side, but, for people who's doing all the other stuff. Research into what you're doing, research what's the best way to improve your product. So deep research is very important.
Wow, there's so many comments. Okay, hang on. Let me just read this.
Nasi dah jadi bubur, precisely.
Yes. Okay, there's no centralized local archive. You're right. There is no. It's all verbally passed. We got to change this. Okay. So what is absolutely true? I don't know. I forgot. So powerful. Yes. I mean, if you think about it, I didn't even know. Not only it affects one generation, violence affects multi-generations. You're right. I can't stress this enough because I watch a lot of SVU and Criminal Minds, and I watch a lot of those serial killer stuff. And they're all abused at one point or another. I also, you were saying,
Haley's Malay is patah, so.
And Rajuna is saying nasi sudah menjadi bubur. Now Rajuna is good. Yeah, true. In regards to taking our culture for granted in terms of local culture, what is the best resource for someone who is physically unable to meet the primary resource? Is that a question? Yeah, it's a question. Who's it from? Let us know who you are. Or better yet, accept the StreamYard thing. Kind of thing. So true in regards to taking our culture for granted. In terms of local culture, what is the best resource for someone who is physically unable to meet the primary source? Watch short films done by R&D Studio. Apart from that, what else, Rogue?
I think I'll answer that question later. So I'll just talk about a bit how...
this is the multi-layered stories you want to talk about, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go.
I think one of the questions is, one of the things that you would like to think about is how local stories would travel overseas. And
listen, guys, because I'm sure we can learn. We can learn this and apply for ours as well. Okay, so basically it's tell good, universal, multi-layered stories, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So telling good stories is one thing. Telling good stories is, when you watch something, you read something, you listen to piece of music, you feel something. So if you feel, sad or happy, or you cry, or all those things, that means it's a good piece of creative work.
Music. Yeah.
Up, for example, the first 5 minutes sequence where
I was like bawling.
Yeah. So that's
Disney does this every single time, even with Dory, Finding Nemo. I was like,
Toy Story
within
4,
the 5 minutes.
So having a story that's emotional is important. And that emotional is universal. For example, Batik Girl is about the love between, the little girl and the grandmother. It's about grief.
It's about her
somebody in
losing her mother as well. Yeah.
somebody in South America, in Africa, will know about grief. They will know about the love between between family. So you tell a story which is emotive, which is brings out all these emotions. But one of the other things that we need to do as well is to have it multi-layered. It has to be like subtext and all those things. So Batik Girl was the story about the little girl losing her mom, losing her family, and by the end of the film, she gains a new family, the grandmother. So it's a circle of life. So we wanted this circle thing to be really prominent. We have a lot of circles in Batik Girl. So we have that circle in the sand, which she drew. The position of during the graveyard, the kubur scene is a circle.
Can I just say something? This looks more like a Marvel Universe superhero kind of funeral. Sorry, not like a Malaysian.
Not like a Malay, yeah.
Just saying, okay. All that's missing is the rain, Okay.
It was raining in the scene, So we have circles everywhere. But also we wanted to have more than that, not just visually presenting the circles. We wanted to tell it in the storytelling, the narrative as well. So we use what is called a ring composition. A ring composition is usually found in the holy books, the Bible, the Quran, in which the start of the scene is mirrored at the end of the story. The second is mirrored
that's
at the second.
Also a script writing thing, right? The mirror. Okay, so this was the mirror. Okay, got it. And you translated it into scenes.
Into this, So the first scene is the original family, Mas and the parents. And the last scene is Mas and her new family, the grandmother. This scene about, where there's a falling petals at the graveyard scene, then there's falling on the petals. So it kind of mirrors each other throughout the whole thing. And the center point is where the batik world comes alive. That's the most interesting thing. So it, not just visually, that circle thing, also in the narrative as well.
Okay,
so what's important, what was interesting is when you do something as deep as this, people will come and talk about your film for a long time. We have master students, we have PhD students, which actually, they did thesis, they wrote stuff about our film.
So basically, it gets to them subconsciously, right?
Also subconsciously. All these things is like subconsciously saying, okay, circle everywhere. Narration is also a circle of life.
Yeah, so Cassandra is saying that because for children, violence is stored in the survival brain, not just children, when we grow up. I can't tell you the amount of shit I have to clear, in sections, all these things affect them for the rest of their lives. And Haley is saying, Rogue is right. As storytellers, we need to deep research, stop our competitors to know too. So I guess your competitor was Disney, and it means the creators put a soul to the story. That's through layers of emotion. Love it. And I guess we can apply it for us as well through layers of emotion in the content that we write, because that moves souls. Remember that. Okay. And what about this one? This is the Dalang scale, right?
So this is the Dalang scale. In the Dalang scale, we looked in Wayang Kulit, as I mentioned before. In Wayang Kulit, there's this thing, that spade-like structure is called the Pohon Beringin,
the tree of life.
So the tree of life is used by the Dalang in real Wayang Kulit shows to open a scene. And when you close a scene or you close a show, so we use that convention here, in which the story starts with the boy going to the Wayang Kulit show with the ticket, so you can see the Pohon Beringin there. And also the Pohon Beringin is the Cucuk Sanggul, which is the hair ornament thing on the mother. That Cucuk Sanggul, the tree of life, also ended her suffering. It was because of her actions in which stopped that cycle of abuse.
Right. Okay. Cool. And Radia is saying that these stories...
Radi.
Oh, a friend. Cool. With people, because it highlights things that anyone could go through, and grief could happen to you, me, or anybody at any time, which is true. We're all going through a lot of grief right now with what's happening in the world, right? Kind of thing. Okay. So the Dalang. Okay. And this one?
So another convention in Wayang Kulit is the good guys is always on the left and the bad guy is always on the right. So the mom is a good guy. She's always on the left, and the dad is the bad guy. He's always on the right. So throughout the whole show,
is there a reason for this? I'm just wondering.
Is a convention which in Wayang Kulit, there's the halus character and there's the kasar character, the fine and the coarse character. So it's always on the the
right and left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except for in our film, there's one scene in which the father is on the left, the good side, and the mother is on the right, the bad side. This is the boy's point of view, because from the boy, he did not see the abuse that was happening. He was protected from the abuse by the mom. So when he went out, he just saw the mom stabbing the dad. The mom is Jahat. The mom is the bad one. And throughout his whole life in the in our film, he had resentment because of his mom. Because in his mind, because in his mind, it was the mom that made the dad go away.
And that's why the family disintegrated. Yeah.
Family disintegrated. And it was only at the end, I mean, guys, go watch it. Go watch the short film. It was only at the end when he realized, the mom was, was not at fault.
Right. Okay. Powerful. So basically, it's about the emotions, yeah, which is universal.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So universal stories and multi-layered.
Okay, got it. And what is this?
So once you've done all those things, you've done your research, you got an idea, you've done your work and everything, you show it to the world. So our world premiere for the Batik Girl was actually at the PPR, Project Perumahan Rakyat.
I'm sorry, what is Project Perumahan Rakyat? Okay,
yeah, it's a low-cost,
I only know PPE these days, okay?
Yeah, it's a low-cost housing in Taman Melati, Sri Melati, yeah. Why we wanted to do it was, Batik Girl was actually paid by a grant from MDEC.
Which is the people's money. Grant?
It's not the government, it's the people's money, Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay. I love that.
The people's money, and we felt that the people should watch it first before we send it to festivals. So my friend Sunita, who was the festival director for KL Diversity, she said, hey, I'm doing something at PPR. Do you want to show something? And I said, yeah, we have this short film that we just finished. And we showed it there. And I was like really nervous. It's the first time that we showed Batik Girl in public. And there are kids there. And kids are, they don't have any layers. They don't have any filters. They just say what they think. And I was kind of like freaking out because they were like silently looking at the thing. And at the end, they were clapping and they were asking me questions. And
really?
I was like,
what sort of questions were they asking?
I can't remember, but they were asking good questions. I remember that they were good questions, and I tried my best to answer them. And it was at this point we were confident, like, it's a good story. People get it. And after this, we sent to
because it didn't have any dialogue, right?
It didn't have any dialogue.
Yeah. Okay. There's a question by Radia. Hey, Mr. Irwan, super excited to be able to learn from you. May I ask, in the Dalang style, is the positioning, size, and placement for the window light source purposeful as well?
The size and positioning
placement?
It's not like a consideration, but there's only one point of light in all the scenes, because in Wayang Kulit there's only one light.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it,
but if you look at camera angles,
yes.
If you look at the camera angles, if you study film, there's the angle of the camera is actually, it means something. So when it's not horizontal, it's like skewed. It's called a Dutch angle, and all the scenes where the violence happens is skewed. If you look at it properly, so it shows that something bad is happening. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So that's one filmmaking point of view, lah. Okay, and this one, share with us.
So we had a really good festival run for Batik Girl. We went to 28 festivals around the world in 17
official
countries.
Selection, right?
Yeah, official selection, 28 festivals, 17 countries, and we won 5 awards in Chile, in Tokyo, in some other places in US. Yeah.
Okay, and this one?
So after it went on the festival circuit, we put it on our YouTube channel. And when it was on the YouTube channel, we were so overwhelmed by the response. There were people from over 100 countries, commenting on the video from, I bet you guys don't know what flag that is, bottom, the middle bottom. Yeah. So
what is it? Where is it?
Yeah, I can't even remember where it's from. Sudan, I think. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Portugal, from countries all over the world, and we were so it's such a blessing to have all this feedback. The then
Uh-huh.
Deputy Prime Minister Wan Aziza also
Okay.
commented on the show, and the best feedback we got was this one. It's from
Mm-hmm.
this girl from Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
in which she said that she's never seen hijabis portrayed as beautiful normal people, and she said that we've restored her belief and she wants to make such movies as an Egyptian Muslim girl. So we were like, man, this is
Yes.
Peter Parker, with great powers
Uh-huh.
come great responsibility, so we that just made us want to tell more stories, local stories
Okay.
that can resonate.
Awesome. Okay, and what about this one?
So this one is just a slide lah. When I
Mm-hmm.
finished Dalang still 2 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
somebody actually passed the link to Ronnie Del Carmen. Ronnie Del Carmen is
Wait. When you finished it, somebody actually sent it to Ronnie?
the link to the
The
film.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the film is now going around in festivals.
Mm-hmm.
So Ronnie is a director of Inside Out. He was in Pixar. Now he's doing something for Netflix. So he's an Academy Award nominee, and and he wrote all these nice things about the Dalang Still, and we're like, getting this nice feedback from somebody that you look up to in the industry is like really so awesome.
This is huge, man. I would be tearing up if I was reading this. Kind of thing. Okay, and this is?
Okay, so this is kind of like going to my final slides already. So we were invited to be in a workshop in Luang Prabang in Laos a couple of years back, 3 years back. So
Mm-hmm.
our mentor was this gentleman called Irwan Warner. So Irwan
Mm-hmm.
Warner is the producer of Shrek. So he has 2 Academy Awards. He also produced the Wish Dragon, which is out on Netflix now.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent 7 days with him and this gentleman called Arthur Fong, who's the concept artist for Kung Fu Panda.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get all the information from him, trying to get how to get into Hollywood, how to make good films and all this stuff. So I had a problem. I was doing my film. So this workshop was for a film. I had a problem with my act 1 and I had a problem with my act 3. So I wrote my act 1, I wrote my act 2. I had a problem figuring out how to, tidy up to finish up the film, which is in the act 3. So I was like going, Aaron, bro, I
Help a
have
brother
problems.
out.
Hell, brother out there. Yeah. I have a problem with my act 3. I can't finish this act 3. I don't know how to solve this. And Aaron read my act 1, act 2, and then he nodded and he said, okay, wait a minute. He opened his laptop. And then he showed me what he was working on, a film. He did his act 1, he did act 2, his act 2, but he couldn't do his act 3. So I'm like, Mr. 2-time Academy Award winner also cannot figure out his act 3. I can't figure out my act 3. He can't figure out his act 3. So that is the lesson here. You should not be, you should not say that you're not good enough. You can't be up there among the best. You have to be confident because even the best will have the same problems as you do. Aaron, 2-time Oscar winner, can't figure out his act 3. I can't figure out his act 3. The difference is playground. His playground is Hollywood. He is, doing projects with 100 millions for USD. My playground right now is in Malaysia, in Southeast Asia. I had, my budget is way, way cheaper, but same problem. So be confident in whatever you're doing.
All right. Okay. Cool. Okay. There's a couple of questions here. Let me just change the views. There's a couple of questions. Liana is asking, hey, Mr. Irwan. Wow, since when, Mr. Irwan? Do you need to be a film thesis type, film educated in some way to be a director?
Obviously, no. I studied architecture, and my whole education for about film and all these things is, watching a lot of TV, watching a lot of films, and I actually bought a film theory for dummies book. Yeah, so that's my film education.
Okay, now this one I want to answer. Did you sponsor yourself to go for the workshop? No, because Nina Girl did. The workshop was courtesy of Nina Girl's contact. Okay.
Yeah.
No, even MDEC is Nina Girl, just so you know.
Yeah. Actually, during that time, Nina was in MDEC, so she was one who was taking care of this
animation companies.
Yeah, animation companies. So the AFS, the American Film Institute, AFI, American Film Institute, and the US Embassy in Southeast Asia, they were looking for projects which had potential but needed help from experts. So they picked our project and projects from Singapore,
I think it was,
from Philippines.
yeah, I have to say it was just fluke. They were looking for Malaysian, and I happened to know this lady who had just come into from the American Embassy, who just came into Malaysia, and I was at a hackathon, and she was there, and we kept in touch. And she said, "Hey Nina, I have this. Do you know?" And then I saw the names, and I was like, "Oh fuck, my people would go ape shit for this. Give it to me, kind of thing." Yeah. So because of that contact in the American Embassy, I managed to share it with my minions. There you go. Okay, Radia is saying, "You go, Nina." Supporting all the local talent. Yes, I'm what they call the Ibu Ayam. Betul tak?
Yes. Pimp.
Yes. Okay. Even until today, I pimp people. Okay, cool. Now, I want to go back and ask you a little bit of questions just to make sure that we get the learning, everything. So what do you think is the biggest misconception about, or what is it that a lot of people don't understand about local content and global audience? What do we get wrong?
Okay. There's two things that needs to be changed. First is the mentality. I mentioned about building your own roads, about being confident. That has to change. That has to be in you. One thing that you need to know about me also is I'm so confident about what I do that is confident tak bertempat. Is misplaced.
What do you mean confident tak bertempat? Can you share?
Even though I do something crap, I think it's gonna work. Yeah.
So it pays to perasan.
Yeah, it pays to perasan. Yeah. So you have to have that mentality that we have this thing. I mean, if you go into theory, if you go into this hoity-toity decolonization of your mentality, we've been colonized not just years ago, but also in our mind. Yeah. Also in our mind.
Actually, that brings me to the next question, because let me just get it out, because I actually did a poll today on LinkedIn, and this was my question. Would you rather learn from an Asian thought leader or from an established Western expert? Check out the answer. 52% want to learn from Asian thought leader. And then let's look at one of the questions that, I thought one of the replies that was very interesting. And she said that interesting poll results give us insight that we actually want Asian local thought leaders. But here's the thing. Why are we spending a lot of money for Western leaders? And why are the locals not getting as much money? You know what I mean? So do you have anything to add for this?
Yeah, this is a classic case of decolonization. I mean, it's
what does that mean?
We think that everything from the West is good and great, and us, we're the brown people, the lazy natives. Yeah. So that has to change.
Because that's the narrative that they gave us, right?
Yeah.
And we accepted it somewhere.
Yeah, we accepted along the way somewhere. Our ancestors accepted, we accepted. So that has to change. It's not that we can compete among the best. And an example that to me, which is quite important, is KLCC was designed by Cesar Pelli, this architect from Argentina, if I'm not mistaken. Why can't we, do the most prestigious building in Malaysia with that amount of budget? We had to go the west to get
Correct.
somebody there.
And I want to
Yeah.
add something because I worked in Petronas. And here's the best thing. We paid so much money for McKinsey and Boston Consulting. We paid them millions because I was the internal consultant. We paid them millions to tell us something we already knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they don't even stay around to help us implement it. We're the ones who's going to, it's not going to work. Yeah, we know better than the consultants. And yet we pay them money to tell us what we already know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So me and my friend in the Philippines, we call ourselves the Brown Panthers because
not Black Panther.
We're not the Black Panthers. We're the Brown Panthers. We need to find like a symbol, but but we're the Brown Panthers. It's time for the world to realize that the Brown Panthers are there.
Woohoo! Okay, cool. Well, actually, if you think about it, we're the first one to go around the world, right? Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Radia is saying, whoa, my lack of self-confidence is from colonization. Yes, baby, we gotta clear that out, just so you know. Bagus, Jikan. Okay, so you said there were two things we needed to change. One, the mindset was what again? Could you?
The mindset you can't complain and whine and just blame the government is not supporting me. Okay. All those things, that's crap. If you want something to be done, you do it yourself. You
build your own road.
You build your own road.
Yeah. Okay.
We got money for Batik Girl, but we didn't get money for Dalang. Dalang was our own money.
Oh, okay.
Our two other films, Frame Memories and Kueh Poli, was our own money. We wanted to do it, so we found money. To do it. And number two is mentality check. Tell yourself that you're great, you're awesome. Number two, you have to be good at it lah. You have to polish your skills.
Yeah.
So storytelling. So your product, whatever product you're selling, whatever services you're doing, you have to be the best at it. You have to, study what works, what doesn't work, do your research and all those, those things I mentioned before. And if you do all these two things, then sky's the limit.
Wow, awesome. Okay, so I guess the biggest obstacle in people is the belief that we're not good enough, right? Like the third act thing lah. We're no different, right? From the Hollywood people. Kind of thing. So love it. So Haley is saying number one, mentality. Number two, walk the talk. Yes. And she's got violent cough when we were speaking just now. First it was cough.
Which part was it? Which part was it?
She has to let us know. Which part let us know? First it was cough, and then it became violent cough, And Radia, I love you, Radia. Self-confidence and walk the talk. Okay, and what is it that global audience want?
They want something different.
Okay.
People are sick of, for creative industry, content industry, I know what's going to happen in the next Avengers. I know what's going to happen in the next Marvel movie. But when something really different comes out, then that's something. So
when you say different, what do you mean by different?
Different settings, different culture, something because Hollywood hasn't done before.
What's that word? Like Bunohan did very well in the festival circuits because it's very interesting, right? That culture thing, it's so unique. Okay. Even I found it fascinating, but Hal is just north of my state, and the way they speak, I was like, whoa, kind of thing. I was mesmerized kind of thing. So they're looking for, well, if you think about it, the story is the same, the setting is different. The culture makes it exotic, right?
There's no original stories anymore. It's been told.
Hundreds of
just
times.
How original you can tell it the next time you tell it. So we have a big advantage here. We have our culture. We have our, arts, our culture, all the things around us, which is untapped. People have never seen it before. People have never seen the batik world before. People have never seen all this, all these things. So
jungle magic.
What's our excuse? What's our excuse now? We have the advantage is ours, but we're not doing it. Yeah. Right.
And ideas are everywhere. It's just right here in our own backyard, if you think about it. Okay. So Haley saying, no, the mentality is also the not good enough lah. No, it's don't limit yourself. Okay, got it. Is that why you were coughing, honey? Okay, cool. So knowing if this is true when it comes to content, can this also be applied to content from thought leaders and business influencers? Can we be telling local leadership stories, local content, and it will be relevant internationally. What's your opinion on this? What's your opinion on this? Let me know in the comment section.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the creative industry. I tell stories in the form of films and TV series and all those things. But if you look inwardly into the things around us as well, I mean, look what Haris is doing, the recycling of wood.
Harry Green Carpenter. Okay.
Green.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something
he's gone global, right?
That's something our ancestors had done all this while. Rumah
Exactly.
kampung, recycling. In architecture, the rumah kampung the architecture of the rumah kampung, cross ventilation. You don't need aircon. You don't need all this mechanical ventilation, all this stuff. So all this stuff can be used, can be repurposed, modernize it, and
just like your content. Okay, so I just want to add some comments. Radia is saying no one pulls off your idea the way you would. Of course, nobody. Who's the best person at being a Malaysian? Us. Who's the best person to tell our stories? It should be us. It can't be the Mat Saleh. It's enough that you take from us. So yeah, done. Our turn. Bye. Okay, which goes into Haley's comment. First cough, decolonization. Second, violent cough. The holy consultants from overseas. Yes, honey. The third cough is, yes, kita dah merdeka, but our jiwa and our minda still hasn't merdeka. We're colonized. Is that going to be like a holy effing smoking cough? Let me know. And then Haley is saying it's relevant, untapped. We have a huge library. Yes, exactly. It's enough for all of us. So we're going to see content from you, Haley and Radia. Yeah, before you know it, before the Western start conquering. Look, I'm just waiting for the Western to not find out. I hope to God they don't find out about bercakap dengan jin.
Actually, I just found out that Sitora, that film P. Ramlee did, also the book Sitora about were tigers is been developed and it's going to be produced by Fangoria in the US.
What?
Fangoria?
Why?
Because our stories are cool. And we're not telling those stories.
Exactly. Okay, I do have something to say. Wait, I do have something to say. Yeah. I was just about to tell you, I hope to God these Mat Salehs do not get bercakap dengan jin.
They have started.
No, they cannot. No, bercakap dengan jin. That kind of thing. Okay. Haley is saying, okay, Haley, I have something to tell you before the Western start conquering our history. HBO's Raja Brooke story is an example. Honey, they're coming out with a film. Raja Brooke, right?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. This webinar is such a great breath of fresh air, ignited my pride. Yes. Oh my God. Thank you. We did our job, bro. High five.
Brown power.
Yeah, brown power. We need to have a kingdom of what? We need Wakanda forever.
Panther, yeah. Panther. We want to.
Okay. Why can't Malaysians be creating Sarawak story? Yeah, can what? You need. But about Raja Brooke, yeah, definitely. Actually, to tell you the truth, all these HBO stuff, Serangoon Road and whatnot, it's so whitewashed. I mean, no offense, it's a white director, I think, creating, and I never really liked it. It's like, I'm sorry, not relevant, kind of thing. That's my opinion, kind of thing. So I think we should be creating our own content. Okay, so do you think? So what would be your top 3 tips you'd advise people if they want to appeal to an international audience as a thought leader? What's your advice?
My advice is, for the first thing is, you have to do it. Don't just talk about doing it. You have to do it.
Okay.
Number 2 is all these things is a long process. You can't expect results immediately. So it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay,
you need
love
to
it.
Pace yourself.
Okay, and go on. Number 3.
And number 3, you need to reward yourself. Don't just work. All work and no play makes Nina and Rod dull people. So
what's your advice for rewarding?
Go on holidays. Because you can get ideas there. You can get you can take yourself to the next level. So don't just work. And I think this is pretty apt, especially now. Because we're stuck here, MCO, you can't go out, you can't travel and everything. And people are feeling the pressure and everything. So when you can travel, man.
Okay, got it. Here's another question. What's your advice for people who are already creating content but they're not getting results? Coming from somebody who shot sendiri and then out west, the west, what is your advice? What should they look into? What are they not doing right probably?
You need to believe in yourself. You need to stay the course. I'll share one last story lah. We did that Disney project. It's Disney's
Wizards
first long
of
form.
Warna?
Wizards of Warna.
Which is a local version of Wizards of Waverly, Selena Gomez.
Yeah, Selena Gomez. So it's kind of like a big deal, that project. And we learned a lot working with Disney and, all the things. But our project before that was Rendang Buatan Timah by RTM.
Okay,
So you never know when your break is, when, that thing which will just elevate you. So you just do whatever you do, improve yourself, keep the faith. Pujangga Bon Jovi has always said, keep the faith. So you keep the faith, and one day it will happen for you. It happened for us,
Right. Okay. So keep doing it, keep learning your craft, and then that moment will happen. And that's when everybody will start looking at your posts and stuff like that. You're right. I'm waiting for that to happen. Kind of thing.
For us, it was after Disney, it was more of like the clients will come to us. So I didn't need to go look for clients now. Yeah. So if you have that break, you seize it, you make sure you don't mess it up, because that was our fear when we did Disney. When we got the Disney project, we were like, yes. Like 5 seconds later, oh my God, what if I screw up?
But that is what we love to do, right? Okay, but so be confident, just get into it. Okay.
But you do it, and then, good things happen after that.
Yep. Okay, cool. So Haley's saying about Rajab, why can't we do the Rajab Brook story and not about how Western civilization and saved Sarawak? It should be about the hate hunting hero. You're right. Die, MF, die. Okay, just saying. Okay, anyway, so moral of the story is, if you're Asian, this is your time. In fact, I honestly think we're just starting. The biggest economies will soon be China and India and Indonesia soon. And and we have everybody that we need, all three races. So technically, Malaysia should come on top. But the question is, are you positioning yourself? Something for you to think about, kind of thing. Yeah. So thank you so much, Rook. I think that's all the time we have for today. But I have one last question for you, maybe even two. What is next for you?
Next for us?
Yes. What's your plans? What's next for you?
We're doing a live action short film in Sarawak.
Ooh.
It's about Sebayan.
With whom? Okay, I saw the poster.
Yeah, Sebayan is the Iban underworld.
Okay, who is this with? Are you allowed to say?
Not yet. But the director is Jacob, who's Iban. So it's a story that's close to him. And I think it's pretty cool, the Iban underworld.
Ooh, that's like, what's the underworld kind of thing. Okay, sounds good. Okay, and if you had one advice to give business influencers and thought leaders out there, especially during this time, what would it be?
Only one advice.
Yeah, only one. Okay, how many do you want to give?
I gave a lot of advices before this. So
okay, but if you had to choose one?
One advice. I think is be confident lah. Be confident.
Be confident. Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself, and and work hard. Nothing ever is easy. So you do that, and you reach those. You'll be the Oscar award winning. You'll be like all those other stuff that we aspire to be.
Wow, awesome. Okay, so what is the biggest thing that you learned from tonight? Let me know in the comment section. Let us know so we can hear from you. Rogue, don't go anywhere because you are my co-host for tonight. So, for me, I think, again, it reaffirms whatever we learn because I see a lot of parallels between, your journey and what we're learning at Popcorn as well. Number one, be confident, believe in ourselves. And you know what? Wakanda forever, brown people forever. We need to, yo kind of thing. I even have a Wakanda passport. You can order it on Shopee, I'm sure.
Serious?
I think so. I saw it somewhere. I was like, oh man, I gotta buy that so I can take a photo and kind of thing. And I really was gonna put my it was a passport holder I was going to put my
Okay,
password. Yeah, Wakanda forever, And somebody actually responded and said, I have never heard of that country.
What?
It's some auntie in US, okay? Auntie in US. So now you understand why we are the real superpowers of the world. Because this person actually thought it was a real country. Okay. So for Radia, her biggest takeaway is knowing whatever we need is already within us. Oh my God, Radia, that's powerful. There's no need for us to doubt ourselves. We should go for it. Yes,
Betul,
you are right.
Yeah.
Ada passport tu, itu tertahan tu, tapi dah expired. Okay, kena renew. Okay, what is your biggest learning today? Let us know in the comment section. Rob, what about you as you're sharing this journey? What kind of came up for you?
I think one of the things, it's a reflection of, because I've been at it for quite some time. This next year will be our 10-year anniversary. We have some projects that we want to do for Malaysia, actually.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, one of the things which we want to give back to the country that has helped us a lot in our journey. So we have a couple of projects that's we're releasing next year. Hopefully we can share with you when it's done. But reflecting on our journey and everything, it's more of like we never knew when we first started to do this.
You were soul searching for 7 years.
We never knew we were going to be at this level. We never knew that we were going to work with Disney. We never knew. We wanted to, but we never knew that we were going to. And it was a lot of hard work. It wasn't easy. It's not sleepless nights, staying in the office, sleeping in the office. Now I can take it a bit easier, but the road leading to it was hard. And I think a lot of businesses, if you are on that journey, you just have to go chugging along and recharge yourself. That's why I mentioned go on holidays, reward yourself, buy dangly earrings, all those things. Like that. Yeah, precisely.
Different colors. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay,
it's the same what I'm doing and what everybody's doing.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right. I totally see the parallels, even though we've kind of diverted. You're still in creative. I've moved to social, if you think about it. Haley is saying her biggest lesson is when can do. And another lesson is introvert, creative, can conquer. You'll never know until you try. We were just talking, I was just talking to Haley today that somebody built a community. You couldn't get any more specific than a community for runners, right? That's pretty specific, right? But guess what? Yeah. This guy created a community with 100,000 people called Slow AF Runners. 100,000! Can we see this?
Yeah,
I could totally see this, right? So it's amazing. You can definitely build a community of introvert creatives, okay? Whatever you dream of, it is possible. It's time to believe in ourselves. It's time to take our power back. I think that is the biggest message that I got from today. Yeah. So I hope you guys had a great time. Tune in next week. Let me get you the poster for next week. Firdaus Muntaza will be sharing about your always on product. Now, this is really important because you know how Pizza Hut, Domino's always has that offer, Rogue, that you see, oh my God, chicken wings, $4.99, I gotta get some. And then you go in and then you come out and you spend $100. But you went in for that $4.99, but you end up spending 100 ringgit. That's your always on product. How do you get people on your always on product while you sleep? I think you still get those things. And Rogue's going to buy that course from me, okay? So tune in next week, Thursday, 8:30 p.m. because we're going to be talking about that. Till then, thank you so much for your time. We hope you learned something. And if you know somebody you can appreciate from watching this video, please share it with them. Please tag them and give us a like and follow us. That's Popcorn Fest on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram. We'll be coming out with more videos. Let us know who you want us to interview. But that's all the time we have for today. I'm Nina signing off. And today, this is my co-host. Is my arrow right? Yeah, Rogue. Yeah. Brown people forever. Okay. Bye. Wait. Let me do video first. Once I can find it. It was very slow just now.
Where?
Wait.
There, that button.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we're still here. Bye. Good night.
Nice.